What is up, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time. You know the drill. Two of the sharpest minds in the biz here on this late slate, second slate of the day. But it's an early, late slate, as it sometimes turns out. Also, as it sometimes turns out, you got two of the sharpest minds in the industry. Got my guy Bibefort in the house. What up, man? How are you?
I'm wonderful. It's getting hot outside. I do have a bone to pick with you about the weather, but we can get to that from today. But Game 6 might be the final game of the NBA season. The weather's getting nice. Can't ask for much more.
Okay, I'm intrigued that you have a bone to pick with me, but you're happy about the current weather. So we will.
I'm happy about the weather in my life, not the weather in my gambling ventures.
I see. Okay, more on that to come. And then my guy TJ Schwartz in the house. TJ, always good to see you, especially 2 times in one day. What's up, man?
Yeah, doing well. Nice to see you as well. I kind of am always hitting my afternoon wall at this point, and usually the show kind of pricks me back up and wakes me back up, gives me that second win, and so looking forward to diving into it.
Okay, I feel pretty good. I feel high energy. I don't know if that'll last for however long this show does, but as of now,
I got to take my ADHD medication that I'm supposed to take every day this morning, and so I'm just like fighting the drowsiness.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I used to intentionally not take my ADD meds. That way, I would have like a lot of energy. I'd be bouncing off the wall.
Oh, so yeah, it's reverse for me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anywho, I don't have those excuses, and I hit the wall too. So I'm not sure what that says about me. Most afternoons, you reach our age, and you get moving around. You get you maybe outside, and then I eat lunch, and it's like it makes me want to not ever eat because I'm like 2:30 every day after having lunch. I'm like, okay, so the day's over, right? This is it. I'm ready. I'm done.
Then if you don't eat lunch though, and it 5, 6, 7 p.m. comes rolling around, you hit the double crash where it's not only can I not do anything, I can't even get off the couch. I need to order food. I need it I can't even think about making it.
Yeah, and you're hangry.
Now you're hangry. Yeah.
It's a rough combo.
Lose. First world problems.
Yeah.
First world problems.
Anywho, we are here not to talk about our tiredness and our general state of life, but rather to talk about this baseball slate. There are some minor weather notes to be had. And I guess really the only one I think that matters is that in Tampa, there's some storms firing up. They're closer to the stadium, to the ballpark rather, than where they were supposed to be. But they're all clearing out. And whether we get a late start or not, and I think a late start is possible, I fully expect the game will play, and I do not expect we'll see any in-game issues. So things look pretty good there. And then in Sacramento, it's not as hot. Yesterday it was 90 something degrees. Today the temperatures are in the upper 70s, but winds are blowing out there at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and we know it is a very sensitive, wind-sensitive ballpark. So I like the hitting weather there. I like it in Tampa as well. But just a couple weather notes. That's pretty much it. I don't expect we're going to see any major issues. So let's dive into the slate itself, and we'll begin with Eric. What's up, man? What are we looking at as we build around the slate?
I'll give my weather update. We bet on the over in the Nationals game earlier today, and I don't actually blame you. The Rockies, it's betting Rockies over. It's no matter. Yeah. They could be playing on the surface of the sun, and I'm not sure the Rockies could hit. Although they did right the last couple of days, but nonetheless, stack that game up. James Wood. Shout out James Wood. We always got him to come through for us no matter what. But the Rockies and Nats did not hold up their end of the bargain in the beautiful, beautiful hitting weather. We came up just shy.
And that was really frustrating because there was a lot of really good hitting weather today. And almost all of the spots did the things they were supposed to do, except the best hitting weather of the slate, which was in Washington. They're the only ones who laid an egg. And I
took note of that too, because I feel like I can read the not sarcasm, right? But the nuance of your it's like you're like, no, this one, these are good, right? This is good. You're like, this is the one.
Yeah. That's how I felt. That's how I felt this morning. And that was really disappointing for me as well. I didn't lose any money on it, but it sucked. Anyways, all right. Well, what are we doing today?
We make it back tonight, and I think this is kind of a fun, shorter slate. I do generally like I kind of like these 6-game slates or something, but I actually kind of like it when there's no true gas cans, right? There's no Coors Field. There's no like there's some pitchers who are worse. Of course, Yamamoto is great. We'll talk about Strider, right? Chris Sanchez is a very good pitcher. There's good pitchers, but like the rest of these guys that we're probably going to be talking about attacking, this isn't Antonio Senzatella. You know, this isn't that level of bad pitcher. So that opens things up a little bit from a tournament perspective, I think, in how we attack it. On one hand, you could say, okay, I can play a bunch of these pitchers, but for me, how I'm thinking about it is I do think some of the guys at the there's some punt options, but there's a few guys at the top that stand out. So like on FanDuel, those guys would be the preference for me. And then on DraftKings, I don't really want to forego a lot, like a lineup with none of Strider, Yamamoto, Sanchez, like the really good guys. You can play an SB2 that's a little bit cheaper, but then with the bats is where it's just like full-blown ownership type stuff for me.
Yeah.
We'll set aside Ohtani because he always has to be a different kind of conversation if you can fit him, play him. But attacking kind of the next tier of pitcher where they're all kind of the same with the lower owned stack, as opposed to playing it right. If the worst pitcher on the slate is almost the same as the second worst pitcher, but the ownership is so different. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it.
Okay, good stuff. A nice little overview there. TJ, let's dive into the pitchers. Before we do that, I want to give you a shout out that came from the YouTube. Alex says, "What's grimy? What's good, grinders? TJ Money, appreciate you helping me eat this morning. I'll tell you that for free." Which is a hilarious message.
That is good.
But apparently you helped him win some money.
Good start to the day. We had the plus 600 Spidey Bomb of Pete Crow Armstrong hit this morning, and just about took down the mini max in my 150 entry build. I finished 10th. So not big money, but still a profitable morning.
Very good, man. That's awesome. All right. Well, let's talk about what we're doing tonight. We want to run it back. We want top 10. I think top 5 is the goal for tonight. What are we doing pitcher-wise, TJ? Who do you like?
So despite it being a small slate, we actually have a whole lot up top for pitching. We have 2 aces and a really good pitcher with a good matchup that basically puts him in ace territory. So we're looking at Yamamoto, Spencer Strider, Christopher Sanchez as our, SimLabs optimal lineup scores are showing right now, that we actually have some of these cheap guys, Colton Gordon, Drew Rasmussen, Charlie Morton, projecting for some incredibly good optimal rates as well, with Strider way down the list. I'm going against SimLabs today. He was struggling as he was coming back, and now last game he was crazy lights out, looked just like Spencer Strider. Now it was also the Rockies. So you got to take it with not just a grain of salt, about 3 or 4 grains of salt.
The whole beach.
A lot of salt. We're just pouring it on. You're gonna have to wash your You're gonna have to check your blood pressure after it.
It's in your carpet for months afterwards. Yeah.
Having said that, what I care more about than the 13 strikeouts against the Rockies, it's the velocity uptick. He was up from his previous games. He's basically just 1-ish mile an hour away from regular Spencer Strider now, and he's been rising about that much in each of these last couple games. And so if he just has one more velocity uptick tonight, he's right back to normal. I don't like the matchup against the Mets, but I don't think the ownership's that egregious considering how small of a slate it is. And so I feel like Spencer Strider will be 12K once he's right. So I want to try and take as many chances as I can to play him while he's in this state.
Yeah. Okay. What else?
Right. Yeah, I forgot there's more.
There is probably. Maybe.
He's actually my second highest owned pitcher behind Christopher Sanchez. I'm getting to a lot more Sanchez today. Miami, and honestly, I feel like all of these teams, don't get me wrong, yes, the Rockies are bad, but they've had some games that they've gone off lately. I feel like these Marlins, Rockies, White Sox, they're not as bad right now as they had been earlier in the season when we were just like, yeah, play whoever you want against them. The Rockies are still in that tier. Miami and the White Sox, I don't think they are. But having said that, still one of the better matchups on the slate. Miami is one of the best pitching parks on the slate in all of baseball. And Sanchez is a really good ground ball guy. So at only 9K, I think he is going to be my top option. I have about 60% of him, 50% of Strider, 40% Yamamoto. So I am loading up on these expensive guys. And that is how I would rank it. Sanchez 1, Strider 2, Yamamoto 3. but I wouldn't argue if you have Yamamoto 1, Yamamoto 2. All three of them are really strong options in this spot. The three cheapies I'm going to take shots on. I'm going to ignore the mid-range. I'm not going to play any Drew Rasmussen today. I'm not going to play any Clay Holmes, Edward Cabrera. The three cheap guys I'm going to take shots on are Lopez, Morton, and Gordon. Morton, just because he's picking up a lot of ownership, I don't love. Like, I like playing old man Charlie Morton when nobody's playing him and everybody's stacking against them because he's got really good strikeout upside. But if he's going to be in 30% of lineups, the third most popular pitcher on the slate, then I kind of just want to get underweight and stack up against him a lot. So I'll be about even. I have about 25% Charlie Morton, a sprinkle of Colton Gordon, and then Jacob Lopez is going to be my favorite of the group. It's a really difficult matchup, but he's just striking out so many guys, and he's so cheap. He can give up 4 home runs and be the optimal SP2 today. And so I'm going to be stacking against Lopez a lot, but I do like him a lot as a cheap dart throw for GPPs as well.
Okay, all makes sense. Eric, you kind of gave us a tease, but let's get into the nitty gritty, get into the details. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm actually mostly similar to TJ with one major disagreement, and that is Spencer Strider. So we'll start with that one. I have no concern. I think when I wrote in the expert survey, my point was I have zero concerns about Spencer Strider long term. This is not an indictment, but we don't play DFS long term. We're playing for tonight's game. If it were even just a slightly better spot than the Mets, I think I would be a lot more comfortable playing into this ownership after one good game. The velocity is up. The velocity is not exactly where we want it. And so, I think he's just going to still be going through some small kinks here and there throughout the course of this ramping back up. Like, not the Braves may have no chance at the playoffs I was about to say by playoff time, but they're so far out of it. I'm not sure that matters, but I think he's going to continue to work his way up. And when you're working your way back, you're going to have times 5 days rest every 5 days for months. Like, you just might have some down velo times. He just struck out 13 dudes, right? I imagine he got juiced up a little bit for the Rockies. Like, I can finally have a good game here.
I'm going to handle these fools. Yeah, absolutely.
And he did, and he was great. But against the Mets, when we're projecting 39% ownership, I do have a lot of other pitchers that I like, and I don't mind a Mets bat here or two, because if last game was the kind of fool's gold, and he is still figuring some things out, we drop back down to 94, 95 on the gun. It's like Juan Soto can handle that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These guys can handle that. There's not a lot of strikeouts. So I'm ignoring Strider. For me, I actually don't hate a couple Mets bats, not as like a full stack, but as a couple Mets bats hunting some home runs against a chalky Strider. Sanchez is like, again, I TJ 150s, I play more 1 to 3 entry max. And so for me, a lot of the times you come in and you're like, there's a guy, and it's Sanchez for me today. He's in the lineup. I agree with the Marlins takes and stuff, but Sanchez has also really improved as a strikeout pitcher this year. I'm sure everybody listening to this has been monitoring it, but we're up to 26+% strikeout rate for Sanchez. He's long been like the better like a Brady Singer or something like that, like a better real life pitcher than fantasy pitcher. This year, he's just a very good fantasy pitcher. So at $9,000 on this slate, I'm locking him in. But then I'm pretty much right there with TJ on the rest of these guys. Colton Gordon, the price is just crazy. I don't know how much I trust it still, but at 6,700, how much do you really have to trust it? And same thing, I like Yamamoto if I can get him despite the bad matchup. I would rather play Yamamoto than Strider, but then I like Gordon. Morton, the ownership is not great, so give me a Clay Holmes, or give me a Jacob Lopez, or give me something like that if I really need a punt that's not Gordon.
Yeah. Okay.
What would you do on FanDuel, Eric, if you're playing only one lineup where Strider is 1,500 cheaper than Yamamoto and he's 1,100 cheaper than Sanchez? I honestly, like, if it was me, if I was running my 150 there, where the cheap guys aren't as cheap and he is way less expensive than Yamamoto and Sanchez, and actually not projecting for crazy amount of ownership, I feel like I would play him in 150 of 150.
See, I still side with Sanchez, but I think that's where the Yamamoto part gets. I think I would probably rather play him than Yamamoto, but I'm still very much feeding into like a little bit more of a matchups based kind of guy. You know, I don't want to play like, I don't know what's a good example of a guy here. Like you said, I don't want to play Charlie Morton as chalk just because he's in a good matchup. But like Christopher Sanchez, kind of like he's above my line, right? He's above my line. To quote what's his name. It's just a great pitcher in a very good matchup. I can't think of
you nailed that
huge the All In podcast. I can't think of what the dude's name is that memed himself to death talking about stuff that was above and below his line. But anyway, Christopher Sanchez is still a priority for me on FanDuel, but Strider I think would pass Yamamoto.
Yeah. Okay. And TJ, you said you're in fully on Strider on FanDuel, where the ownership.
Yeah, I'd play him in cash, play him in single entry. I'd play him in 150 of 150 over there. He's 8,600, whereas Sanchez is 97, Yamamoto's over 10. And so it's just like absolute all in for me over there. Let's see if I can open up this tab a little bit. I want to see the optimal lineup. Sorry for my dogs over on FanDuel. So let me just switch sites here. Why don't I remember where that is? How do I? There, open up the full tab. Now I can see it all. Perfect. FanDuel, there we go. Switch it to the main slate. Interesting. They don't like Strider in our SimLabs tool either. This is weird to me. I don't get it.
Great promo for the site we got going on here, TJ.
Yeah, we'll see. About to find out.
TJ versus
all
change
this
the thumbnail.
Morning, I'm not gonna lie, right? So it's like I'm not saying I'm right and it's wrong. One of us is gonna be wrong though, because I feel polar opposite.
Yeah.
I could very well be the wrong one.
Full blown like SummerSlam WrestleMania thumbnail now of SimLabs versus TJ.
Both of you posing at each other, fists
Hulk
up,
and
ready
Macho
to rock.
Man.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the bats and the stacks. Eric, you can lead us off there. Who we stacking up?
So it's from a stack perspective, this is where I actually think it gets a little fun. I know we made it seem like the Strider part is the biggest. I actually don't think that's the biggest. Like, pick a side. He's Spencer Strider. I get it. It's totally fine. Either way, but from a stacking perspective, if I had to pick a team that is like my absolute favorite, it is the Dodgers. They are about as owned though as that tends to be the case with the Dodgers. Like they're just like always about as owned as they should be. So outside of Ohtani, who I'm just not sure on a 6-game slate at anywhere from 20 to 30%, that's ever enough ownership to scare me off of Ohtani. Scaring me off of a full Dodger stack is where I do think things get a little bit fun. We have the Astros. This is my more Strider take to like TJ. I just can't do it with the Astros. I get it. This may be a blind spot. We'll look back in a couple months or whatever, like you idiot. Like Jacob Lopez stinks, and it's the Astros. They're all right-handed, right? The weather is good. The park is good. All that kind of stuff. This offense is just not very good, and so I don't want to be playing them into a ton of ownership. Though I get why they are popular, kind of a thing. So same thing. I'm moving down the board a little bit. I like a little bit of the Mets, but again, maybe a little bit more one-off. And I'm disagreeing with SimLabs on the Rays. I like the Rays quite a bit here. I am not a proponent of old man Morton. And if he's going to be a little bit more popular, if he's going to be kind of one of the go-to middle tier guys at pitcher, more so on DraftKings, of course. The Rays have a decent amount of power here. Josh Lowe is back. The Lowe brothers are there. Caminero, Yandy, right? There's a Danny Jansen. There's quite a bit of power for a lot of different prices on the Rays. So they're kind of that. Let's, like when I was talking about moving my way down the board, a little bit more contrarian against some of the mediocre pitchers. The Rays were one that really popped out to me. And I think the Athletics, if you want, Colton Gordon seems good, but they're in that same weather as the Astros are. They're against kind of a young, semi-unproven lefty. So I think the A's make some sense too.
Okay. TJ, your favorite stacks?
Yeah, similar page actually. I love the Rays today. My plan is essentially I'm going to play a decent amount of the Dodgers, and then I'm going to play the 4 teams in really good weather in minor league stadiums. And so Tampa Bay, Baltimore, Houston, and the Athletics are the 4 teams, along with the Dodgers, that I'm getting to a ton of today. It's a small slate, and I'm playing 100 lineups, so I will have a stack of every team here. There's not a single one I X'd out of the pool entirely, but I'm low on Atlanta. I'm I'm low on the Padres. I guess, of course, I'm low on the Padres. But I'm low on Atlanta, and I don't have a ton of Philly. A decent amount of Philly, but not a ton. But then I do even have a few Marlins, Padres, and Mets stacks just because it's a small slate and anything that can happen. But for the most part, Dodgers, and then the teams in Tampa Bay and the teams in Sacramento.
Play the teams in the weather-sensitive minor league parks in good weather. Certainly makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, let's go around the horn, talk position by position. We don't have to take too long for this, but just tell me who you like. TJ, what are we doing at the old catcher spot?
Yainer Diaz is going to be the mega chalk at the catcher today. And from like a cash game perspective, you absolutely play Yainer Diaz. No doubt about it. He's the guy. My favorite pivots would be top tier Will Smith, mid tier Adley Rutschman, cheap Danny Jansen. And then other than that, just you can play anybody in your stack.
Yeah. Okay. Buy for?
Pretty much the same. I will say I come in and you see Adley at $4,000 and it seems to jump off the screen to you, but this dude has not been good for a while. And I'm genuinely concerned. It's one of those, I came in and I was like, oh baby, this looks wonderful in that game. We like that game. We like, whatever. And as the day has gone on, I've been a little less excited for Adley. So I'm sticking a little bit more to the top here. I do like Danny Jansen for the spend down option. And Yainer is one. I know he's extremely popular, but at catcher, if I'm going to be a little bit funky elsewhere, I don't hate it. And then of course, Will Smith, though I'm not sure he ever is like deserving of $5,200 salary. He's good, but that's kind of crazy. Not Carson Kelly crazy, but still, I think he's fine, right? If you have the salary.
Sure. Okay. How about first base? Eric, you can leave me off there.
Yep. Ohtani, if you're not playing him in the outfield, feels pretty good. I think as of right now, I'm playing Ohtani at first base. So as we discuss, first base is often quite terrible. All of a sudden, I don't know what happened to modern baseball. The game we love has been ruined with a bunch of terrible hitting first basemen. But I do like Pete Alonso here as like the Schneider leverage. We know he can hit. He can hit a home run off. He could hit a home run off the bullpen, and it could work out for you. He has that much power. And then Jonathan Aranda, I'm deciding if Aranda's making the team and where Ohtani is going, because Aranda is awesome, man. Like, I don't know what this dude has to do for us to ever, right? If we're like, to TJ's point about Strider, if we're gonna like dock him right in SimLabs and such for his performance this season and not really like him in this spot, well, what does Jonathan Aranda have to do to get like some love? You know what I mean? Yeah. The guy has been an elite hitting first baseman against right-handed pitching. So he would be my next favorite.
Okay. I bet TJ's on board with that. TJ?
Always love me some Jonathan Aranda. Him and Yandy Diaz both I'm playing a lot of today because I really like the Rays. Ryan O'Hearn I'm going to be heavily overweight on as a GPP play. And then both of these Phillies guys, Otto Kemp and Alec Boehm, I like a decent amount as well. Freddie Freeman, if I can get up there, I will be way underweight on Christian Walker. I have about 8%, whereas he's projecting for over 20% right now. Altuve, Paredes, and Cam Smith, I'm going to play into chalk. But Christian Walker is going to be one of the guys that I'm underweight on. I do have twice as much Ohtani as anybody else at the position, though. We did get up to 75 likes, so I dropped the second Spidey Bomb. First one, we got Brandon Lau. Second one, we got Trey Turner. Plus 430 for Brandon Lau, plus 750 for Trey Turner. Third one at 100 likes. So keep on hitting that like button.
Very good. Spicy stuff. All right, let's go to second base. Let's go to second base.
So Brandon Lau, the Spidey Bomb, will be my favorite play here. I have an absolute ton of him today. 25% Brandon Lau. You know what? I actually said I was playing Altuve into chalk. I bet on him to hit a home run. I am not playing him into chalk. I only have 10% Altuve today, so I'll be less than half of the field. I'm playing a ton of Brandon Lau, and other than that, I'm mostly punting it. In my Houston stacks, I'm playing Mauricio Dubon because he's so cheap. At a quarter of the ownership of Altuve, no, he's not anywhere near as good, but he has actually hit home runs, and I believe back-to-back games, yeah. So you never know. Maybe we got a little mini hot streak for Dubon. I'm going Lau, Dubon, Luis Arias, likely batting cleanup today for the Athletics. Oh, we did just get their lineup. Let me double check. He is batting 7th. So maybe I actually want to bump down my Arias a little bit here. But I still like him. He is very good against lefties. And then Jackson Holiday, I'm playing a decent amount of as well. That was way more time than I meant to spend on second base.
That's all right. Yeah. Well, it's one of those positions that's sometimes so bad you need to spend more time on it just to try to figure out what the hell you're going to do. Eric, what do you do in a second?
Almost the exact same thing. Brandon Lau is my favorite. Jackson Holiday is my second favorite. I'll shout out Tommy Edman in the old Dodger stacks. I think we've seen that the nonsense he was doing at the beginning of the season was not quite the real Tommy Edman, but I think he's on the Dodgers, platoon advantage, all that kind of stuff. And then I do like Jeff McNeil, and there's been a small little power surge for Jeff McNeil. I believe he's playing for a contract, or he just got, I forget what it was. But Jeff McNeil, he's not going to strike out against Spencer Strider. He doesn't strike out against anybody. So if Strider ain't there, we'll hunt a BS Jeff McNeil home run at second base.
Okay, good stuff. That brings us to third base.
Not great today, by the way, at third base. Normally, it's been a phenomenal position. I do like Paredes. We're showing him maybe a tick over on, but I know TJ mentioned him. If there is an Astro, Yainer and Paredes are my favorite guys. Max Muncy, then of course in the Dodger stacks, but also like maybe a little bit overowned. So I move down your list you're seeing here to Junior Caminero is my favorite third baseman, and the other Max Muncy. So make sure you click in the right one, by the way, today. There are two Max Muncies, both playing. The tech folks love these situations, right? It's just the best. But I actually do like the crappy Max Muncy on the A's down at 2,900.
I feel this way about the Lows, the Lows, and the Max Muncies. Just needs to be a fight to the death. There are too many of you. There can only be one. You must fight to the death, and may the better man win.
Did you watch the show New Girl?
I did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Favorite sitcom. Top two favorite sitcom for me.
Yeah. There's two. When Schmitz, they find out that Schmidt's real first name is Winston, and they have to, like battle it out or whatever, and they decide to change. They're gonna flip flop. Schmidt is gonna become Winston, and Winston's gonna become, Winnie the Bish or whatever, and they're gonna do that. That's what we need Max Muncy and Max Muncy to figure something out here, because this is not right.
Maximilian Muncy and Max Muncy.
There we go. Yeah, the better one has to be Maximilian, I think. I feel
one can be Maximilian, the other can be Maximus.
Oh,
then better one can be Maximus.
Yeah. Okay, TJ, third base. What do you like?
What we do on small plates.
Yeah, right. You're just really killing some time.
Maximus Muncy is my highest owned, the Dodgers one. Dodgers is Maximus and Athletics is Maximilian. We're gonna lock this in. So okay. Maximus Muncy with the Dodgers is my highest owned third baseman today. I have Jordan Westberg Jr. and Junior Caminero along with Maximilian Muncy, the Athletics one, all tied at about 15%. And then I don't mind Otto Kemper, Alec Bohm, mentioned them at third base or at first base. Isaac Paredes is probably my favorite Houston player, and then Manny Machado, I think at really low ownership is in a good spot today. Not a good spot, but I'll just always play Manny Machado at low ownership. He and Tatis. I don't like the Padres full stack, but I actually do like just playing those two as a mini stack.
Yeah. TJ, how was my French when I typed in? Was that an actual sentence or no? Was I making up words?
You're missing a word.
I'm missing. Okay. I felt like it was a little off. I was close. I got the point across, but I didn't think I was quite there in the YouTube chat.
Well, actually, because you said, I love you, accent TJ.
I love your accent.
It would be, j'adore l'accent de TJ.
Okay. All right. It felt a little off. I did not mean to say that.
I love you.
Yeah. That was
or
close.
I adore you.
Yeah. All right. What are we doing at shortstop, TJ?
Shortstop today. Let me swap over here real quick. I love Jacob Wilson in this spot. Projection systems don't really seem to realize how good he is yet. And so he's consistently under projected. And because of that, very rarely goes for any type of ownership. And so Betts is fine. Pena is fine. Turner, I like a lot more as a home run bet than a DFS play because he's almost 6K and I'd rather play somebody cheaper. But at plus 750, those are some really good odds. You can play Lindor against Strider. You can play Eric and I both really like Rays stack, so there's nothing wrong with putting Caballero in your Rays stack. Gunnar Henderson's been struggling, but he is still fine because he's super cheap, still hitting the ball hard. It's going to turn around at some point. But Jacob Wilson is my favorite here. So I would say from like a cash perspective, you play Pena or Betts. From my favorite tournament perspective, is Wilson by a pretty wide margin.
Yeah. Okay. Eric, what are you doing short?
Not too much different. I have no problem betting a plus 750 Trey Turner home run, but from a DFS perspective, I can't figure out when we're ever going to get this guy priced how he's like supposed to be priced.
I'd play him if he was 4,500.
I know. And like, I know he's stealing some more bases this year. So that's really what's playing into it. But like, this dude has a 155 ISO and like an ISO in the 170s for 4 years. And he's 33, 32. Like it's just the days of old Trey Turner, right? Like are just not like he stole 50 bases a while ago. So I just can't really get on board with that. And the Mookie being the most overowned shortstop is a little bit mind blowing here. So I'm totally on board. Like play Jacob Wilson right in between those two guys at 5% owned in a really good spot. And then like after that, it's kind of the Lindor like Mets home run hunting thing. It's actually like a really talented position that I somehow don't like a ton of the shortstop plays today for a weird, it's a weird one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go to the outfield. Eric, you get to lead us off there.
Always loaded outfield Ohtani. I also think like it should be noted that you can play Jose Altuve here, right? If you want to play want to play Lau or you want to play something, Jose Altuve is obviously dual eligible, though I think that's what's driving him being like massively overowned. Altuve is also just kind of like a good hitter, not like old school like superstar Jose Altuve, I don't think anymore. So that's a bit of my struggle with him. I think there's a ton of guys. Again, I want to mention the Rays dudes again because you don't see a Ray until Josh Lowe. Josh Lowe, Brandon Lowe, right? Josh Lowe, Brandon Lowe. I really like the Rays guys. The Dodger, we want to shout out the Dodger who I don't want to play. If you've watched a game and watched Michael Conforto swing a baseball bat this season,
bad.
Oh my God. Now we've mushed that dude like this many, many times. The last time I mushed the Dodger, Max Muncy hit a home run in his first at bat, calling him washed. But man, it is like just play one of the other Dodgers, I think, if you're going to play the outfielder. So it's like the Rays guys for me, Dodgers, of course. The Orioles outfield used to be so good. I'm semi interested in Mullins and Kowser because I really like that game, right? I'm okay with the Orioles, but it's a little bit tighter in the outfield around the Rays and the Dodgers guys for me.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, outfield.
Ohtani, obviously the top option, but he's actually falling a little bit lower on my list of ownership behind Brent Rooker, who I really, really like today. Just completely smashes left-handed pitching. Big fan of Rooker today. Thought he was going to be coming in at much higher projected ownership. I like Cam Smith as my favorite Houston outfielder today. He's nice and cheap, and he's been smashing lefties early in his young career. My second highest owned outfielder today is Spidey Bomb number 3, and so we are 12 likes away from me telling you who he is. So keep hitting that like button, and then I'll let you know. 12 likes, not that hard. We can get it done. I like Tatis at low ownership. Andy Pajes has been smashing the ball lately. Love the Josh Lowe call, and I always just try and get as much Ronald Acuna as I can. We talked a little bit about the Phillies stacks before. I'm honestly just kind of not playing very much Kyle Schwarber, who's looked terrible lately, and Trey Turner, who is overpriced. And I'm just like, I really don't mind playing Philly when it's like Kepler, Castellanos, Alec Boehm, who's too cheap. Those 3 guys are all sub 4K. So like you can run 2 of Yamamoto, Sanchez, and Strider lineups and full stack Philly if you pick the back end of their lineup. So I don't mind going that route today at all.
Yeah. Okay. You mentioned we get a third Spidey Bomb and 100 likes, and you said, we're pretty close to that?
We are pretty close. Let me do one more refresh, see if we got there. 105. Great job, people. I do got a fourth Spidey Bomb for you at 125 likes, but Spidey Bomb number 3 and my second highest owned outfielder today. We're going to the Dodgers, Teoscar Hernandez. Only plus 360. I was hoping for better than that, but I still love Teoscar Hernandez today. I got him at plus 400. That makes me feel better. Spidey Bomb number 3.
Okay. Do home run odds ever go the other way? Or is it always just, they put the odds out, let's say it's plus 400, then sharp people are like, ooh, that's a good one. And then it gets bet down to plus 350. Or does it sometimes go the other way and it changes? Or no, they're just like,
no, because no one, I don't even think many sites really would even let you go under on a home run.
Right. So it literally only goes in one direction.
Yeah. They screw us. We can't ever bet no. They always give you the long right. You can bet yes on things. You can't bet no when no is oftentimes the best bet.
Right. And then that just, if there is a good bet, it only lasts for a few hours because sharp people are all over it and hammer it down.
Yeah, TJ and Grant and Cardi and all these guys are ripping all these home run bets and soaking up all the good value.
At like midnight, they're betting it the night before when the lines come. When did the lines come out for home runs, TJ? Do you know?
Usually like middle of the night.
Yeah. It's when they get them. All right, let's see what we got. I think we have like 15.
J3 is upset at me for allowing, because apparently he loves Trey Turner, and so he's upset at me for allowing Eric to besmirch Trey Turner when I have him as a Spidey Bomb. But odds and prices matter. I agree with everything that Eric said. At plus 750, he's hitting the ball well the last couple games. Maybe it's a little mini hot streak. Plus 750, I love those odds to hit a home run. Even if he hits a home run at $5,900 on DraftKings, do I care? Because it's making it so I can't get one of these expensive pitchers. He could hit a home run, and I don't even want to have him still at $5,900. So it's all about price and odds. Trey Turner sucks for a $5,900 hitter. Trey Turner's great for a plus 750 to hit a home run hitter.
Yeah, well said, man. Well said. All right, let's see. I want to make sure my people are getting the best deal in the industry. And Eric, we need to give out some home run calls as well. TJ already gave the Spidey Bombs. MLB DFS annual option. It's the best deal in the industry, $425. But we can do it better than that. We're going to give you all the sports for the same price of baseball. How does that sound? Pretty damn good, I think. And if you do the combo 6-month, you'll get access to all our sports for the same price as baseball. And you save 35% by going 6 month as opposed to month by month. So make sure you are signing up for that. Eric, give me some bomb calls. Caminero, bomb.
That's your we're definitely stacking up the Rays because I'm on the low Lau brothers.
Okay.
Both of them. There's two, Brandon. So I'm definitely obviously on Spidey Bomb number 1, but Brandon and Josh both going deep tonight. And then we wrote it in the expert survey. Juan Soto's taking Strider deep tonight.
I like that. It's a spicy one. Very good. Okay, let's see if we've got a few questions. We'll hang out until the questions dry out. As usual, going to see if there's anything in the Discord to start.
Random side point, but you know what I look at almost exclusively for Juan Soto before betting on him to hit a home run? And it's actually worked really, really well this year. It's just exclusively guys who don't walk people. Like anybody, doesn't matter how good they are, if they throw the ball down the middle of the plate a lot, that's when I want to pick Soto because he's just so wildly patient. He doesn't want to swing, but if it's down the middle of the plate, he's gonna swing. And so that's honestly when I like Soto the best, is just like the least likely guys to walk him.
Right, because he's famously good at gathering walks, right? Like he takes.
It's like he's offended if you throw him strikes, right? Yeah. It's like he's like, how dare you disrespect me? So that's when I'm gonna hit it over the fence. Yeah, exactly. He does his. He doesn't do it so much anymore. But when he was younger, he like
weird crotch grab shuffle.
Yeah. It was like he was like trying to psych the pitcher out because he was mad that you threw him a strike. Right? Yeah. Respect me.
Yeah. I watched the one playoff series. I don't know if it was 3-4 years ago or whatever, where he was just
where he started doing it.
Yeah, and he was just a monster. I mean, every at bat he would come up, and you're like, "Well, you better walk him, or else he's going yard." And
those were the only two choices. And every time they threw a ball, he knew it was a ball before it got halfway to the plate.
He starts doing the shuffle thing before the pitch is even there. He's like licking his lips and staring you down. It's bizarre, babe.
Yeah, but it was so wildly intimidating too. I was like, damn, I hate him, but I love it. Okay, let's see if we've got any questions. I don't think we've got a lot going on in the Discord here, so let's pop into the YouTube. Make sure you hit the thumbs up for us again. You get the Spidey bombs, but also we get the eyeballs, and that's why it's a free show, because we want more and more of those eyeballs. This is a tough one. TJ, which two pitchers would you take for the late field? So I don't know what exactly that entails.
So we just got a Dodgers lineup, and I believe it's exactly as expected, but no Conforto, and it's Kim in there at the 9 spot at center field today. So it kind of seems like they're kind of kicking Conforto out of there until he figures some things out.
Was that the guy? Was that the dude who you said was absolutely horrible?
Horrendous.
Yeah, like historically great power hitter. This year just looks so lost and broken.
Yeah.
What was I talking about? Oh, late slate pitchers. Yamamoto is the clear top option by so far. He'll probably be 80 to 90% owned in the late slate. I would, and again, this is likely to lose you money, but I also think has massive upside. I would pitch Jacob Lopez and Colton Gordon together, both pitchers in that Athletics game, who are like 6K, then play Ohtani and every single full Dodger stack, maybe even with Tatis and Machado against Yamamoto. And that's probably what I would run in the late slate, since it's only 2 games.
All right, take a home run swing of a lineup. I like it. Let's see, Padre stack, DK single entry. Eric, you got any love for a pod stack?
No, I don't think so. Not in the. I like TJ's idea in the short little 2-gamer, right? Stack against the mega chalk pitcher, but I don't think Yamamoto is going to be even owned enough to try to leverage it on FanDuel. You can fit some other high upside, low owned bats.
Yep. I love this question from Trey in the YouTube. This made me laugh. He says, I'm going to have Eric 70% Met stacks over 150 lineups, and he asks, "Am I the rake? Is Trey the rake, or is it okay to have 70% Met stacks over 150 lineups?"
As someone who recommended the Mets, it would be extremely disingenuous for me to call you the rake. However, we might just be holding hands as the rake together. So it is possible, but there's something, I forget who it was, longtime DFS player, that talked about it. This is a little bit of hyperbolic, but if you went in and you just stacked against the chalk pitcher every day over the course of the whole season, like, you're probably going to come out extremely profitable. Like, it's a little bit hyperbolic, right? Like, peak, don't stack against peak Jacob deGrom, but like, and Strider might be too good for that too. But I just, especially on shorter slates, like TJ was talking about, like, I think it's a good strategy.
Okay, I love that.
And it all depends too, like, on it, like, whenever you're doing, like, it doesn't matter if it's 70% of one team you're stacking, or you're hitting a lock button on a player. Big stands that, if you're right, you'll win huge money, is totally okay. When you have money, you're okay losing. Like, if you're comfortable going, like, say, I'm playing $150 in the 50-cent contest, 150 lineups in the 50-cent contest. If you're comfortable saying, I have $75 to burn every night, I'm okay with that. But when I take my big stands, I hope I'm going to win 1 or 2 days a year. There's nothing wrong with doing that type of thing at all. That's why I like doing, like, I typically only play big money in football, and then I keep it pretty small for baseball, just because it's way too long of a season to endure cold streaks on. But that's why I like doing some crazy things in my MME build sometimes, where I'll like, oh, there's a 50% owned player, I'm going to hit the X button on him. Just because I'm thankful to be in a place where, 75 to 150 bucks, 300, whatever it is, like in that day mini max, I'm playing a contest that I'm okay with losing.
Right, because you're thinking about the long term, not just that night.
You just can't get shaken up when you lose for like two straight weeks, 3 straight weeks, a month, right? It's a long-term strategy. You have no idea when it's going to hit, but the bet is that it does hit. Like TJ said, do it twice, and who cares? Great year.
Yeah, right. Okay. Let's see. First base. TJ, is for you, Aranda or Yandy? I think we liked them both.
That is so tough.
And this was a FanDuel cash question, I should add. It's cash.
Cash Yandy. Tournament Aranda.
Yeah. Okay, Eric, N is making you work for this one. A good $2,600 outfielder in a FanDuel single entry lineup. So $2,600 FanDuel outfield.
Oh boy. Okay. 2,600. Yeah, you ain't kidding. Good Lord. How do I say TJ's French friend? He's sub
Mauricio Dubon.
Yeah. I wasn't asking you, TJ. I was asking the French expert next to me.
Sorry, my bad. That's right. That's a good call.
He's in there, but I'm only partially kidding. Cameron Misner for the Rays as well. Just another like cheap Rays stack back.
Okay, great. Favorite GPP pitcher in FanDuel single entry? TJ, is that you're just sticking with Stride Dog?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got. TJ Joseph says Strider and Yamamoto with a 4-man A's, or fading both with a Tampa stack. So Strider and Yamamoto with a 4-man A stack, which sounds pretty good, or fade both of them and go with a Tampa stack.
I guess it would depend on who else you're pitching with that Tampa stack. I think I'd still probably do Strider Yamamoto with the A's. I do like that.
Yeah. Steve says, hey, is the weather okay in Tampa?
I do really like it still.
Yeah. Steve asks, is the weather okay in Tampa? It's still raining currently, but it's in the process of clearing. They might have a brief late start because it's still raining pregame, but the game's fine. It's totally fine. I don't expect.
I think we should have let TJ do the weather answer since you're doing the French answer. Yeah.
TJ would have nailed it.
Next time.
Yeah, he'd have nailed it. Yeah, next time. I'll make him do a hard one. Let's see. Dodgers need to re-sign angry Trevor Bauer. I don't know if you've seen that guy getting lit the F up. But
maybe he can throw BP to Conforto or something.
Yeah.
Even if it was not important, like even if you were looking at it and going, I don't care about anything anyone's done outside of the sport. Doesn't matter to me if you're a good person, a bad person.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm in if you're a good baseball player. He's not good enough to make the MLB. He's one of the absolute worst pitchers in all of the Japanese league he's in.
Yeah, he's getting touched up. Let's see what else we've got here.
Yeah.
Call Stevie. You know, he's got his pitch coaching going on. Like, throw Stevie in there as opposed to Bauer.
Remember when Johnny Manziel was bouncing around all the different leagues, and it was like, oh, he was just white. You know, he was just banned from the NFL because he was a screw up. And it's like, have you watched him play in the last?
He's getting crushed years? In the Canadian Football League. No offense, TJ.
He's the worst quarterback. He's the worst quarterback on TJ's home league team.
Yeah. Let's see what else we've got. Top 3 Dodgers, not including Ohtani. That's a fun one. Eric, what do you got? Top 3 Dodgers, not including Ohtani.
Pages, Teoscar. I'm gonna say Edman. It's usually Freddie, but I'm gonna say Edman. Just the salary, second base is disgusting.
TJ not Pages and Teoscar too.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. All right. Well, I'm not going to touch that one. We're gonna close on out here. We've got 5 minutes until lock, but we answered all the questions, so I think we can bounce on out. We did a good job. In fact, an excellent job. I didn't think we'd last this long, but as it turns out, I like hanging out.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Hey. Let's bounce for TJ and for Eric and for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes and oftentimes on camera as well. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you tomorrow. You have